I'm very honored to be interviewing today Jeffrey Sachs, a world-renowned economics professor, best-selling author, innovative educator, and a global leader in global sustainable development thought.
Brazil is demonstrating the rule of law. And so there will be a verdict based on a judicial process that is an independent judicial process. This is very important and very impressive, especially in the context of the threats that the United States made against Brazil and actually actions that the U.S. took against Brazil because of this legal process. In the United States, we are in a retrogression. Not only do we not have a rule of law, we have one-man rule who declares that he can do what he wants. He declares some emergency and then imposes taxes or other measures that are clearly, according to our Constitution, the responsibility of Congress, not of Donald Trump. So we're in a very bad situation in the United States. And it is important, as you are emphasizing, to pose that against the very responsible process that's underway in Brazil. There's no doubt that what's happening is the end of the Western-led world. Remember that Europe dominated the world roughly for 250 years, from around 1750 to around 1900. This was the European age of empire. And that empire, either in a very formal imperial sense or in an implicit sense of financial domination and big business domination, was pervasive in all parts of the world. In the first half of the 20th century, Europe lost that empire because Europe engaged in two bloody civil wars, which we call World War I and World War II. After that, the United States became the imperial power of the world. It was resisted by the Soviet Union and its bloc, but the U.S. And its military alliance was always dominant, though it couldn't crush the other side. The Soviet Union ended in 1991 when Russia and 14 other countries were the successors of the Soviet Union. And at that time, the United States said, well, now we just run the world by ourselves. There's absolutely no competition. We're the sole superpower. That was a great illusion and delusion, I would say. Delusional in that it was kind of power going to the heads of these intoxicated, ignorant people in Washington, many of them real fools and very nasty people. They also didn't anticipate anything like the rise of China, which was the most significant of these events. But basically, there in the picture, we see President Putin, Prime Minister Modi, and President Xi, three superpowers that prove that the United States is not only not alone, it doesn't call the shots anymore. So what we're observing is the end of a long historical process. And the arrogance is not only the US, it's also in Europe. Basically, this so-called Western world, which interestingly, from my point of view, is only about 12% of the world population. If you add up the United States and the European Union and Britain and a few other countries, it's about 12% of the world population. They really believe to this day that they run the world, that they can dictate whether Brazil has a court case, whether India buys oil from Russia, and so forth. So the mindset is continued arrogance. The reality is multipolarity. When you have the mindset and you then exercise your arrogantly derived decision making, you end up isolating yourself even more, because the United States, Donald Trump is the personification of that. Of course, he stomps up and down, makes demands of Brazil, makes demands of India, makes demands of Russia, makes demands of China, and they shrug their shoulders. Well, no, Donald. I think President Lula put it the best of all when he said, we don't need an emperor. This is really the point. Donald Trump wants to be the emperor of the world. He's not. He's confused. He thinks that his demand is the global writ, but it isn't. And the meeting that took place in Tianjin, China, the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, just showed again, no, thank you. We're here. Actually, not only are we here, we're getting closer and closer together. Whether it's the SCO, this Shanghai Cooperation Organization, which is an Asian grouping, or the BRICS, which is a global grouping that Brazil has the presidency this year, basically most of the world is saying to the United States, stop wagging your finger at us. We don't accept it.